When the Connecticut legislature reconvenes this coming Wednesday, one issue that is sure to be front and center is gun control in light of the tragedy in Newtown. And one lawmaker would like to see the names and addresses of gun owners made public. There have also been calls for police officers, armed police officers, in schools. Just some of what we can talk about. And talking about what we can expect in the 2013 General Assembly is Martin Looney of New Haven. Welcome, Senator Looney.
Good to be with you, Jeff.
Oh, it's a pleasure. And, you know, with Sandy Hook still so fresh and so painful to the minds of so many, and some of these questions are going to put you on the spot, admittedly, but what do you and your colleagues think, if anything, could have been done to prevent something like that?
Well, first of all, I think that we need to look at the problem of gun violence in Connecticut, not just in connection with Sandy Hook and the terrible carnage that occurred there and the suffering that was inflicted there, but looking at gun violence in also the sense of the gun violence that occurs in all of our cities, New Haven, Hartford, Bridgeport, Waterbury, New Britain, New London, on a daily basis, where there are guns that shouldn't be in the hands of people who should not have them, used to commit violent acts and mayhem in our cities all of the time. That is an ongoing problem, independent of the terrible tragedy that was visited upon Sandy Hook. And I think we need to look at our response overall. And I think in terms of guns, there will probably be legislation in three different categories. The first will be, I think, dealing with additional prohibitions. For instance, perhaps adding additional weapons to the list of assault weapons that are banned in Connecticut, including the Bushmaster rifle that was used in Sandy Hook. In addition, I think we will have a lot of support for banning large capacity magazines, magazines that hold more than 10 bullets at a time. There's, I think, growing support to address that issue. Thirdly, I think we need to look at the issue of ammunition itself, and that we have prohibitions in the law that certain individuals, those who have been convicted of felonies or violent misdemeanors, or perhaps have had a mental health commitment, or have a restraining order against them, are barred from possessing a gun. But we should also make sure that those people are barred from legally possessing ammunition as well. So I think we need to add that category of prohibitions. In addition to the prohibition category, we'll be looking at additional regulation. I think there'll be proposals to look at whether we should require more licensure for additional kinds of weapons other than just handguns, whether we need more additional documentation, or whether we need renewal of permits or demonstrations of continued fitness to have permits. I think that will be an issue too. And then finally, there'll be some revenue issues. There'll be some proposals about perhaps certain categories of guns should be taxed as personal property if they have significant value, or whether we should have an additional sales tax on certain categories of guns or ammunition. So I think we'll be looking at a whole range of responses in a variety of categories to deal with this crisis, which has, I think, come upon us with increased urgency because of Sandy Hook, but has been a problem that we've been dealing with for a long time.
Can I just talk a little bit about the phrase responsible gun ownership? Because a lot of gun rights activists use that and say it's responsible. Is there any talk, or can we expect talk about some method of cross-checking somebody's perhaps mental health history if they're trying to get a weapon?
Well, I think yes. I think what we need to do in the session is look at not just gun control, but also improved and enhanced mental health services, and also some additional initiatives regarding school security. But I think we do need to have better ways of checking, better ways of screening, better ways of demonstrating that there are certain people who should not have access to weapons or to ammunition. And we need better information, better screening on that basis.
Senator Looney, I know the phrase tip of the iceberg now comes to mind. We've only barely touched that. There's so much more we could. Unfortunately, time doesn't allow, but thank you so much for coming in, Senator, and perhaps we can have you come in again sometime, hopefully soon and often, because obviously there's going to be a lot on the plate for you and your colleagues in the upcoming.
Absolutely, be happy to. We'll begin our session on next Wednesday, January 9th. The session runs until June, and we will be busy with this and many other issues all the way through.
And we'll need that play-by-play as it all happens. Lots to keep our eyes on. Thank you so much, Senator.